Hello and welcome to another DV Kitchen screencast. This screencast is on Time Freezer. Every kitchen needs a great freezer, and DV Kitchen is no exception. To get to Time Freezer, you just click the second tab in the top right. And the very first step is choosing a movie. So we're going to click Choose Movie, and we'll just start with this clip. And Time Freezer is an environment for snapping still pictures of a video stream. So it is designed to make this process as easy as possible. If you've exported stills from an editing program, you know what a headache it is. And Time Freezer makes it simple and much higher quality, as you'll see. So to scrub through and see what we've got here, we can just click right on the video layer. We do not need to scrub in the controller area, although you can if you really want to, if you want to waste time, like other programs. But it's very easy to scrub around just by clicking right on the picture. You can also use your J, K, and L keys. For use to that, you can press L to go forward, press it repeatedly to speed up, K stops, and J goes backwards. You can also use your arrow keys. Left arrow is backwards, down arrow is stop, right arrow goes forwards. My favorite method is probably the arrow keys on my right hand and then the letter E on the left hand. Next, let's choose what format we want our stills in. If they're for the web, we probably want a width of, say, 500 or 800 or 300. And then we probably want JPEG at like 90 to 100 quality. We can also export in PNG or PICT if we want. But we're going to go with JPEG because these pictures will be for the web. The arrow keys make it really easy to find just the frame that we want and freeze the picture right at that point and hit E to export that frame. Or you can click this button. It's kind of hard to find because it's so tiny, but it's got a camera on it and says export this frame. So we grab another still frame and say export. Now, if you want super razor sharp still pictures from your camera, if you don't want motion blur out of your camera, you should shoot at a really high shutter speed. You can see motion blur on these still frames because they are probably shot at 1/48th of a second. Anyway, you can snap as much as you want. You have unlimited film. And unlike taking still pictures with the digital still camera, you'll probably notice you can stop the flow of time. You can make someone freeze, decide if that's a good picture. You can actually go back in time, which is difficult to do with digital still camera when you're shooting a moving subject. You can freeze a subject in midair. You have unprecedented control over the flow of time with Time Freezer. So you can keep taking stills. After a while, you get a scroll bar over here. You can go back and look at your stills. You can review them just by double clicking and open up some windows, and got a little, we can start a little light box here and start looking at pictures and comparing them and deciding if you want to delete some of them. And if you want to delete one, there's a little trash can and it's gone. Now these pictures are stored in your export folder that you chose. So if we open this up, there they are. They're all just stored there as JPEGs at 500 width. Now let's say we want these up on the web and we're in a hurry. So we say add stills to list, click the blue button here, and you'll notice that they're all set to do not encode because DV Kitchen is intelligent. It knows they're already JPEGs. There's no need to encode them again. And let's do something fun here. Let's actually create a new folder. Let's say I want to put these on my remote server, but I actually want a new folder. So I'm going to click this green plus, say choose remote folder, and I'm going to say make new folder and call it pics. And then I'm going to choose that new folder, say choose and save. And now you can see I've created a remote folder. And if I now select all and assign this remote destination, click the go button, the pictures are already encoded, so they're just going to upload. Now, is there any easier way in the world to grab some stills from a piece of video and get them on the web? I would like to see it because I don't think it exists, not even close. Now, if I hit the Publish tab up here in the upper right, I've actually got the URLs to these pictures, and I can right-click any of these lines, and it'll actually show me in a browser, where the picture is. And if I want to put these pictures, say, on a blog or in Dreamweaver HTML page, here's the HTML embed code. No need to write it. We've got it right here. If you want to post these pictures on a forum, there's the forum embed code. All you have to do is copy and paste. You could even write captions right within this program if you want, right within the screen. Then just select all, copy, and paste into forum post. So it's all right there. So we're going to look at a couple of other things. Go back to Time Freezer. We're going to choose a different movie, this dolphin movie. And one big headache of exporting stills from an editing program is when you're working with interlaced footage. You know that stills look horrible when you export interlaced stills. So we've got two options. This is a DV res movie. It's 720 by 480. Of course, Time Freezer is intelligent. It doesn't care whether you're at 1920 by 1080, 1440, 720. It works all the aspect ratios out. It's smart. It's not going to squish or squash pictures. You don't have to worry about that like you do with expensive editing programs. But anyway, if we export this frame, you're going to notice it doesn't look very good because the original was interlaced and we've got these combing artifacts. And that's usually what stills look like out of an editing program. So let's just compare that. I'm going to hit Blend, Deinterlace. I'm going to export exactly the same frame. And let's just compare these two frames. This is the ugly one. That's with Blend, Deinterlace. Now you notice the dolphin is moving, so we have a little bit of blur, but we don't have any of that ugly combing. It's a nice looking picture. If we search a little bit for maybe a place where he's not moving quite as much, and export this one, Blend, Deinterlace, then, yeah, I mean, that dolphin's moving a lot. So again, if you want razor sharp stills, it's a good idea to shoot at a high shutter speed. But let's look at one other option. It's called perfect deinterlace. What is perfect deinterlace? Let's find a frame where he is moving quite a bit. And let's do a perfect deinterlace. You notice the size control goes away because perfect deinterlace always exports a half-size picture. It's exactly half the size of the original frame. And if we look at that picture, we notice it's perfect. Basically, it's only using one field, so you're going to end up with a sharp, clear picture at half the size of the original. If you're starting with standard definition size footage, you know, the perfect interlace is not going to be that big. It's going to be fine for probably some web uses. But if you're working with HDV, here's an HDV size movie, obviously an interlaced movie, and we have perfect deinterlace. We export this frame, and it's going to be really big and really nice. In other words, we're not going to end up with any combing, and we've got plenty of resolution. It's way too big to use on a web page. A picture like this, you're going to want to export as a ping, which actually does automatically because DV Kitchen's smart. And once it gets in your list, if we were to say, here, let's just delete these dolphin ones and add stills to list, this picture, because it is actually 960 by 540, we're going to want to set up probably for, 590 quality JPEG. So now we've assigned that. We click go. And then we go back to publish. And there's our 500 pixel wide deinterlaced picture from an HD source. Super high quality stills. So that is Time Freezer. It will revolutionize the way you think about still photography. I find myself bringing a small HD camcorder sometimes to places where I would have brought a still camera, but I find I can get better pictures when I have 30 per second to choose from. So that's it. Thanks for watching.